Well, I want to talk a little bit about silver putting all your eggs in one basket. So this is the lucky guy right here. He's going to tell me everything what's going on with silver. He's my guru. So anyway, about putting all your eggs in one basket. That's a stupid thing to do, right? Now, I got most stuff in like precious metals, and of all the precious metals, I got the most in silver, then palladium, right? So, but I don't have the most of my money in silver, but I got a lot in it, which is probably stupid in a way. But I'm probably going to see we're seeing some pullbacks right now, but first off, there's a balance between everything. First off, I'm not going to knock silver. I think actually if you went 100% into silver versus going 100% into fiat cash, you're probably better off with that, even at these prices right now. But don't go in 100% on anything. That's one thing I see that, so many people are advising about silver. You're going to lose all your money if it's on a piece of paper. God, that's a bunch of bullshit. The thing is with paper, it represents something. The problem is it's not the paper per se. It's the honesty of the people that are making the representations. All right, so you can say that with fiat cash and all this stuff. Like all the currencies are fiat for one. So what are you going to trade? What are you going to trade with? It's going to be some kind of currency, right? Now I know that means in theory that the real assets should be going up against the fiat currencies, and they will. But you also have to remember this: not everything on a piece of paper is going to go down. There's a lot of hardcore financial people out there that will use their utmost of integrity to make sure valuations on paper are exact. They'll be tested in different ways. I know there's dishonesty in the system. That's really why people are going into physical metals. It's not so much that paper is going to be a bad idea, because it never really was paper. It's just a representation of an asset, right? It's the fact that there's a lot of dishonesty in the system. That's why people are going into real metals and physical metals, afraid of catastrophic collapse. Now, actually, there's two people out there that are major people, and it's not just them, actually. It's even Soros even has GLD, and Paulson has gold and all this. But, Mark Farber, with over 25% of his money in gold, he's afraid of a catastrophic collapse. And it's like the bullshit's going to catch up to him. But on the other side of it, if there's a catastrophic collapse, it doesn't necessarily mean that silver coins are going to be all end all currency of everything. I think it's going to do well, but if they come out with another currency, more than likely it's going to be backed upon a range of commodities. And actually, if you look at the commodity index, silver plays a smaller part of that. Actually, it's oil is a big major part of it, natural gas, and also livestock. Agricultural and livestock are major components of it. People get too narrow focused on metals only. But yes, metals is the only thing you can carry, but you got to remember, we're not going to be going back to a time when you're going to say, here's a silver coin, I'm going to walk down to the store and buy something. There's going to be electronic trading, electronic commerce, paper commerce is going to continue. The real problem is that there's so much dishonesty, false values in the system and everything, that something's supposedly worth so much, it's not worth so much, even though it's got all these certifications and attestations and appraise and surveys and all this other garbage that something's worth such and such. That's like that in all finance. There's a lot of different things that go on. There's too much dishonesty in the systems. That's why people run into physical gold and silver. But you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Now, I did say I sold palladium and platinum last week, and now I'm glad I did, because now I see things are really starting to pull back. Silver's pulling back to like low 30s. I don't know if it's going to pull back as severe as some people say, because as soon as it starts pulling back, everybody's going, it's going to go to 22, 18, and 15. That's a hell of a pullback, I don't think so. Because, there is a lot of buying pressure out there on the coins, and actually if it pulled back to some crazy numbers like that, there definitely would be a shortage of coins. Maybe not a shortage of silver, but there'd be a shortage of coins, big time. You wouldn't be able to get them probably if they went down at 22. But just look from a few years ago when it even broke 20. That was a big deal, right? So back when it went over $30 in late 2010, everybody was saying it was way too high. Oh, it can't stay that high. So, you know, it gets up there in stages. It's going to go up again. If you don't have silver at all, you're making a foolish mistake. But on the other side of it, I'm going to say this. You know, right now it's still cheap. I mean, I don't know if it's going to pull back how much further. I don't expect a severe pullback. But, you know, silver ain't going to save the middle class. That's one thing. I have a beef with some of the people that are out there and silver bloggers and stuff. It ain't going to save the middle class. What's going to save the middle class more, if I was going to pick out one product, it would be hemp and its relative medicinal marijuana. That would save the middle class. It's actually got a lot more usefulness than silver. Silver is great stuff, but I think if you're in it now and you're going to hold it for a while, you're going to be fine, because there's going to be a panic into it, and other middle class are going to jump into this metal and they're going to get suckered. Somebody's going to get suckered on the wrong side of the trade, definitely. Right now, it's pretty damn cheap. And if there's a collapse, there's going to be a major panic into gold and silver. Major. It's going to go astronomical. You know, and then you're going to be afraid to sell it. But, you know, if you sell it and you take the cash, just like running a business, you don't actually, if you're making, you have to do large capital sales or something that you held for a long period of time, property and land and all this type of stuff, buildings and land, and you make this astronomical gain on it of 20 times. You know, business doesn't just stick it in a checking account. You know, they're already looking for another investment, and that's what you should do if you sold silver, you know, because a lot of people come at me and go, what do you do, take fiat? They don't do that. Nobody does that in a business either. Nobody does that in a business. There's always some other capital, you know, expenditure that they're going to do to get more money. It's typical. It's just how it is. But a lot of times people now are keeping gold and silver, not just because we have paper currency. Paper currency can work. It's the dishonesty of the system. And paper and electronic methods allow dishonesty, you know, because nothing's been audited, nothing's been checked on. The public, like in other words, if the Congress had direct control over the currency, it would be a lot more honest, you know. But it's a little too secretive. So there's a lot of garbage going on behind the scenes that people, it may collapse at one time. It's just dishonest. That's the problem. That's why people want owned money. It's physical silver, physical gold. But, you know, on the other side of it, later on, with the prices, I'm assuming, are going to go way the hell up, the middle class is generally going to get ripped off on silver and gold. The smartest investors in the world aren't going to. Wall Street sharks aren't going to be buying it at astronomical heights. They're going to be selling to other people. And see, this is where I have a major beef with the freaking people that push gold and silver. They're not waking up the middle class. They're getting filthy rich. Or they're making money just telling you bullshit. I have generally a finance and accounting background, you know, maybe some lightweight computer background or whatever the hell it is. But, you know, numbers mean things. And when there's a representation on a piece of paper, it means something. It means that property has value. This has this much potential to make so much money. You know, when they're extrapolating out into the future, you know, what is going to be the return on the capital expenditures over the, you know, the life of the capital expenditure that they make. So, you know, it's like numbers do mean things. It's like you're actually keeping gold and silver because of dishonesty in the system. And if there's a new currency that comes out, it's not just going to be based upon gold and silver. It's going to be based upon a wide range of commodities. You know, probably more emphasis on energy-related commodities and agriculture and livestock commodities. So, you know, silver and gold will be in the mix. but it's not the only thing. What I think is actually going to happen long range is silver and gold are going to go way the hell up due to a panic. There's going to be problems in the markets, and it's going to take maybe a little long. I don't know when it is, but the middle class is going to be the main ones that's going to get ripped off. But if you're in it now, I mean, yeah, it might take a dip. I didn't sell any. I didn't sell any even brokerage accounts or anything. I didn't do anything. I'm just because I don't know. Because if there's a problem in the markets, Bernanke could announce super QE or some crap, and it might be like a one-day dip. I don't want to take that risk, you know. So I got rid of platinum and palladium, but you know, it's like eventually it is going to go way the hell up. But the guys they're going to wind up selling it to is going to be the middle class, and you know, silver ain't going to protect the middle class when they're buying it at real high rates. Right now, it's low. So, I mean, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. But, yeah, I differ a lot from the people that, you know, push the gold and silver because they're going to be pushing it when it's 100, 200, 300, if it goes up that high. Like, it's the only way you're going to save your money. If you know, you should have bought it before. And, if they have a reset of the currency, it's not going to be based upon silver. I can't see any really smart financial investors, or whatever you want to call them, buying silver at high prices. Right now, Mark Ruff, Mark Farber, and Jim Rogers are buying gold and silver at these prices. So, you know, it's a good deal. Just don't go 100% into anything. If anybody tells you that shit, they're so full of it. They disgust me because I don't know what, you know, I can say this. There's a lot of people that are in the financial world that are so, like, dedicated that and honest that it's like they'll make the system work. If there's something wrong that comes up, they'll make it work. It's almost like, you know, if we have this catastrophic collapse or something like that, I bet you they fix it really fast. It's almost like the Y2K bug. You know, I had a lot of faith in the computer people back then. I was ordering computer components over the internet with my charge card when everybody was telling me, you know, the street lights wouldn't work, which is so much bullshit. But if there was a catastrophic collapse, you know, there's a lot of financial people that got so much integrity, and you know, because I was one of them, man. I used to work like, I mean, not even just weeks in a row, years in a row, to like 10 o'clock at night to midnight at night for years, like a mad dog. So there's people like that out there. If there's something wrong with the system, they'll fix it. If the values are wrong, they'll fix the values. You know? So there's going to be that panic time when silver and gold is going to go way the hell up. And guess who's going to get ripped off? The middle class. But right now, it's cheap. I mean, you know, it's kind of boring. It's just going like this. Not doing too much. It's staying between like 29.50 and 35. That's not doing a whole hell of a lot, is it? I mean, right now, it's been sitting around 30 to 32. But it's going to go, it's going to move. It's going to move at one point in time. So, you know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, if somebody's telling you the only way you're going to save your money is through physical silver, you're full of shit. Big time. They're full of it. Don't. I tell you right now, run from those people because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But silver's a good investment. Very good. It's going to do very well. But the ones that are going to actually take the wrong side of the trade later on are going to be the middle class. And guess who's going to be talking them into by taking the wrong side of the trade? A lot of the silver bloggers. So, just don't put all your eggs in one basket. Right now it's cheap. Later on, don't be afraid to sell it and think about your next capital expenditure, your next move, your next capital expenditure that's going to actually reap you some more money.